In this lecture, I am going to talk about a coherent binary phase shift keying demodulator at passband. So the input signal is at passband and the matched filter is also at passband. Okay. Now before I discuss this, let me recapitulate. Recap. So in the previous lecture I talked about the general coherent demodulator. So let me redraw the signal here. So this is your C of t and this C of t is a transmitted pulse. It is contaminated by the noise N of t and this is your V of t and this V of t is given to the matched filter. It is matched to the input signal S conjugate of minus t transmitted pulse. Then you sample at t is equal to LT and given to the polarity detector. Okay, and say yes or no, 1 or 0. That's what we discussed in the last lecture. And this C of t is the transmitted pulse. It is a sequence of pulses. L is equal to minus infinity plus infinity A sub L S of t minus LT. Now this S of t minus LT is a general pulse shape. It is a general pulse shape. That means it can be a baseband pulse, or it could be a passband pulse. It could be anything. Okay. There are certain issues that we need to discuss here. So it is important because when we are discussing passband pulses, lot of other issues will come up. Okay, and I like to at least pinpoint some of the issues. So what is the reason we move on to the passband pulses? So the basic structure does not change. See, this is my basic structure. It will not change. Okay, and this structure does not change, and the process also will not change. The basic processing that we need to do remains the same, whether this is the baseband pulse or the passband pulse. The structure remains the same, does not change, and the process also will not change. Okay, basic operation has to be the same in matched filtering, followed by the polarity detector before you after sampling. So some of the other issues crop up, so which are important, and therefore let me spend some time on that. Okay, so these are the previous little recap of what we did in the last class, and some other issues will rise, and that issues while I will discuss while discussing this passband coherent demodulator. Okay, now if you are really talking about a binary phase shift keying, the presence of carrier is implied, because if you don't have carrier, then there is no meaning in that. Okay, so therefore one could have the matched filter implementation for passband when the input pulse is modulated by the carrier. Okay, so you have the received signal, and here the received signal is coming in, and this is given to the passband matched filter. So S conjugate of minus t cos of omega naught t or 2 pi f naught, you can put it on, and you sample this at t is equal to LT and given to polarity detector. Okay, at time LT. So the received signal is coming in. I am again assuming the phase offset to be 0. Okay, so the phase is generated by phase recovery circuit or carrier recovery circuit. So you transmit S of t times cos of 2 pi f naught t. Then this is your baseband pulse. So the baseband pulse is modulated by the carrier. Baseband pulse, and this baseband pulse is embedded onto the carrier. So this is your carrier. The baseband pulse is embedded onto the carrier, and this will come along with the positive or negative amplitude. So let me put AL here. So this AL indicates it is equal to +1 for bit 1 and -1 for bit 0. Okay, so that's how you will get a binary phase shift keying transmitted waveform. So therefore BPSK is either either you will get S of t cos of 2 pi f naught t or minus S of t cos of 2 pi f naught t. So this is your BPSK pulse. Still, if you want to further simplify, let me say S of t is a rectangular pulse. This amplitude is 1 in between 0 to t. Therefore further you can simplify this. Either you'll get cos of 2 pi f naught t or minus cos of 2 pi f naught t in the interval in the interval 0 less than or equal to t less than or equal to capital T. So this is what you are receiving, okay, at the receiving end with some amount of noise also added with that. Okay, so the corresponding matched filter will be, if you take this pulse, the corresponding matched filter will be S conjugate. If it is a real, then no need of conjugate, minus T, then cos of 2 pi f naught t. The filter is tuned at the frequency f naught. That's what I mean by cos of 2 pi f naught t. If you don't put cos of 2 pi f naught t, the filter is tuned at a baseband itself, 0 to some frequency. Then we can talk about the phase shift only when you have a carrier. So without carrier, it is meaningless to talk about the phase shift. So whenever you want to talk about the carrier, then the signal should have the carrier. Okay, without carrier, it's meaningless to talk about the phase shift. So there is a 180 degree phase shift here. One is plus and another one is minus. These are the two signals we are transmitting here. So we just said it is an antipodal signal. This is an example of antipodal signal. Now this is a passband pulse. After matched filtering, this is how it will become. See, you are transmitting a pulse like this, let's say 0 to t, and you give it to the matched filtering. Then after matched filtering, your pulse looks like this. Like this. This is 0 and the peak occurs at the point t, and this is 2t. So the total duration is 2t. Now as you are going to sample this point. At this point you are going to sample it. Now if the polarity is changed, that is if the phase is changed by 180 degree, what will happen? The whole thing will become upside down. So the whole thing becomes like this. The whole waveform like this. If you sample at this point, like exactly at this point, then this is 0 and this is t and this is 2t. So you'll get negative peak here, negative peak, and here you'll get a positive peak. So positive peak here represents you transmitted a bit 1 and negative peak indicates you transmitted bit 0. Okay, therefore the whole thing will become upside down in the second case, and this peak occurs at this point. Now let us do the mathematical analysis of this filter. Analysis. Okay, now the output of the filter, so let me take this diagram. So let me say this is output of the filter. Let me call u of t. Okay, and maybe I'll draw the figure again. Analysis. Analysis. So I am transmitting the pulse S sub r of t times cosine of 2 pi f naught t. See, by the way, the general pulse is minus S sub I of t times sine of 2 pi f naught t. This is the passband pulse. This I already discussed. Passband pulse. Now for simplicity, assume S sub I of t equal to 0. Therefore, my transmitted pulse equal to transmitted pulse equal to S sub r of t times cos of 2 pi f naught t. This is my transmitted pulse, and this pulse is contaminated by noise. What type of noise? Pass band noise. Pass band noise, but the pass band noise has both in phase component and a quadrature component. So pass band noise is going to be n sub r of t times cosine of 2 pi f naught t minus s sub I of t times sine of 2 pi f naught t. This is my pass band noise. So you transmit s sub r of t times cosine of 2 pi f naught t, then the noise will add here. So n sub r of t times cosine of 2 pi f naught t minus n sub I of t times sine of 2 pi f naught t. Okay, and this is your V of t, and this V of t is given to the matched filter. Since you have only one component, then let me put s sub r of minus t times cos of 2 pi f naught t, and this is my output u of t. Now let me write down the output expression. What do you think the output expression is going to be? U of t is going to be, this will be now convolved first of all in the time domain. So s sub r of t convolved with the s sub r conjugate of minus t, the whole thing multiplied by cos of 2 pi f naught t. First of all, this is a pass band filter actually. Pass band filter with impulse response. What is impulse response? S sub r minus t. Okay, so this is the signal part. As far as the noise part is concerned, it is going to be n sub r of t conjugate with the s sub r conjugate of minus t, the whole thing multiplied by this carrier cos of 2 pi f naught t, and this part becomes minus n sub I of t convolved with the s sub r conjugate of minus t, and the carrier frequency. What is the carrier frequency here? This is my carrier frequency. The carrier frequency comes over here. So this is sine of 2 pi f naught t. So this is my output. So now see the input. This is my input pulse. Input pulse is passed to the matched filter, and the matched filter impulse response is s sub r of minus t. But this cos of 2 pi f naught t multiplying indicates that the filter response is located at the frequency f naught. It is not at the 0. It is somewhere f naught. So the filter response is like this. Okay. Therefore, you take the conjugate of the baseband pulse and the impulse response of the matched filter and multiply the carrier frequency cos of 2 pi f naught t. And here the real part of the noise n sub r of t convolved with the impulse response of the matched filter and the carrier frequency cos of 2 pi f naught t. And here the quadrature part of the quadrature noise component n sub I of t convolved with the s sub r of conjugate of minus t, and the carrier frequency sine of 2 pi f naught t. That's how the output comes now. So this I already discussed at length in one of the previous lecture. Okay, therefore let me write down, and let me choose, I'm sorry, this let me call n sub r dash of t, and this whole thing let me call n sub I dash of t. Therefore your u of t is equal to this one, the whole thing, let me say r of t, okay, into cos of 2 pi f naught t plus n sub r dash of t times cos of 2 pi f naught t minus n sub I dash of t sine of 2 pi f naught t. So this is my received pulse, and of course it is coming with some signal component. Let's say this AL indicates whether a positive or negative, so that AL comes here also, AL, because this AL equal to 1 for bit 1 and minus 1 for bit 0. Therefore the AL is coming here also, AL. Now you sample at sample at t is equal to capital LT. So if you do the sampling, u of LT is equal to AL times R of, this is actually, you know, you are transmitting multiple pulses, t minus LT, right? Okay, and when I substitute t equal to LT, and this one is in fact R of t minus LT, because you have multiple pulses. Still, if you want to write in a proper way, let me rewrite again. So you are not transmitting only one pulse and stopping, so you are transmitting many pulses. Therefore this is summation over AL R of t minus LT times cosine of 2 pi f naught t plus n sub r dash of t times cos of 2 pi f naught t minus n sub I dash of t sine of 2 pi f naught t. Okay, where L goes from minus infinity to plus infinity. This is your received signal, and an output of the matched filter. This is the output of the matched filter. Okay, and here also you put a summation here where L goes to 0 to minus infinity to plus infinity. Now if you design cos of 2 pi f naught LT is equal to 1, you design such that, okay, you take capital T in such a way, then what will happen? Output pulse satisfies the Nyquist criterion. So this is my output pulse, actually shape of the output pulse, Now in order to avoid intersymbol interference, the output pulse should be a Nyquist pulse. Okay, otherwise the intersymbol interference will come. The output of the matched filter will go and interfere the subsequent symbol pulses, okay, subsequent symbol duration. Therefore the output pulse should satisfy the Nyquist criterion. So this is the output pulse, actually output pulse should satisfy Nyquist criterion. Okay, and then the only contribution that will come at t equal to LT will be from AL. Okay, this one, and this is going to be 1, and this one is going to be with magnitude, constant magnitude, so that will be 1. Okay, and therefore AL is going to occur here, so AL plus, and anyway this whole thing is going to be 1, then n sub r dash of t times 1 minus n sub I dash of t times, when cos of 2 pi f naught LT is equal to 1, then sine of 2 pi f naught LT is equal to 0. Therefore the second component is 0, right? So this will be obviously 0, because if cos of 2 pi f naught LT equal to 1, then sine of 2 pi f naught LT will be 0 at that point, particular point. Therefore u of LT at the sampling instant is going to be this one. Therefore u of LT, or I can say u of t, which is going to be a sub L plus n sub r dash of LT. So this is the output of the matched filter at the sampling instant. Okay, now for example, if you sample it at somewhere else, for example, if you take t is equal to 1 by 4 f naught plus LT, then what will happen? Your cos of 2 pi f naught t sample at t is equal to 1 by 4 f naught plus LT, then this is going to be cos of 2 pi f naught within a bracket 1 by 4 f naught plus LT. Okay, so t is replaced by 1 by 4 cos of 2 pi f naught t plus 1 by 4 f naught t plus LT. So this is going to be 2 f naught will get cancelled, so this is going to be cos of pi by 2 plus 2 pi f naught LT. So cos pi by 2 plus some theta, then this is going to be sine of 2 pi f naught t. So if you choose the t value in such a way, then what will happen? Then it is going to be 0. It is going to be sine 2 pi f naught, which is essentially 0. When you design cos of 2 pi f naught lt equal to 1, then instead of sampling at t equal to lt, instead of sampling t equal to L, let me rewrite properly. Instead of sampling at t equal to lt, if you sample at t equal to 1 by 4 f naught plus lt, then what you will get? You will get 0 output, because cos term will become 0, the first term will be 0, second term will be 0, so nothing will now come out of the filter. So therefore the sampling instant is very, very important. Okay, so your signal will disappear altogether. So one should be very careful when you choose the sampling instant. So if f naught happens to be too high, then this is a very big issue. So one has to consider very carefully. If your carrier frequency happens to be high, then it is a very small timing offset. 1 by 4 f naught is a very small timing offset. So even if you miss slightly, then the entire signal will disappear. So what is the remedy for this? Then one has to choose, very less carrier frequency instead of choosing very high carrier frequency. So this is the just mathematical demonstration of your passband matched filter. Okay, now there are problems in this. So if you choose the sampling instant like this, then what will happen? The entire signal will be 0. So that problems we will address. There are some problems or issues. Let me call issues. Okay, there are some issues. What are the issues? If you choose a small time offset, if the sampling instant is slightly offset, then what will happen? The entire output will be 0. Therefore there are two possible solutions for this to overcome this problem. The issue is, if t equal to lt, this is what I need to do that. Instead of this, if I choose t equal to 1 by 4 f naught plus lt, then what will happen? The entire output will become 0. The entire output will be 0. That is I don't want to do. So this is my issue. So how do you overcome this issue? There are two possible solutions. What are the possible solutions? Don't go to very high frequency. That is a very simple, straightforward, trivial solution. Okay, so one is to use a carrier frequency which is small enough, but of course that is not going to be under our control. One cannot decide, okay, that let me use this frequency or that frequency. So that frequency is not under our control. That will really depend on the communication system, in which communication system you are working on. For example, if you are working in microwave carrier frequency, then you don't have any choice. The frequency is very high. Okay, for example, and then you cannot have any option. It's not under a control. Well, if you use voice band channel, then no problem. Of course, you can choose f naught will be very lower, and the corresponding data rates will also be smaller. No problem. So depending on the application you can choose, but always choosing lower carrier frequency is not possible. So one solution is choose low carrier frequency. Choose low carrier frequency, but it is not in our hand, not under our control. Suppose voice band channel, no problem. Here frequency is low. Suppose if you use microwave communication, then no choice here. Frequency is high, so you cannot apply this solution. Okay. So in any case, the timing error problem can be solved by relatively changing the value of f naught. See, this is called a timing error problem. So this is called I forgot to tell you the technical name for this. This is timing error problem. If you don't do the sampling properly, then the output will become 0. So therefore the timing should be very, very important. So even if you choose low, yes, in case if you choose low frequency, the problem will be solved, timing error problem. But certain applications you cannot go for low frequency. So there is no alternate solution. This is the first solution. The second solution is, instead of working at f naught, go to some other frequency, f1 at the receiver. So how do you do this? You do the down translating, you convert the frequency to lower frequency. Okay, so therefore use an intermediate frequency receiver, like if you recall from your analog communication, especially in super heterodyne receivers, so there is a intermediate frequency. So irrespective of the received signal frequencies, you are converting to a standard frequency, that is called IF frequency. The same way here also what you do is you do the down translating. So it is a very straightforward solution. Therefore use an intermediate frequency receiver, and do not do the passband modulation straight away. Don't do the passband demodulation at f0. So don't do passband demodulation at f0. It is income because f0 is very high. If it is very high, then timing error problem will come. Okay, so that is why what we do is we convert this f0 to some lower frequency. That lower frequency we call IF frequency, intermediate frequency. So first bring f0 to a lower carrier frequency, so that the sensitivity to timing error reduces to some extent. Of course you cannot remove it completely, but to some extent you can eliminate this timing error problem. Instead of working on at very high frequency, you bring it to some lower frequency. That lower frequency is called intermediate frequency. Of course you are not exactly solving the problem, but you are passing on the problem to somewhere else, that's it. Okay, so therefore the next type of demodulator is IF demodulator, that is a passband binary phase shift keying demodulator. Okay, but now IF implementation, intermediate frequency implementation, remaining all process structure, process, everything same. So you receive the carrier frequency at f0, and you multiply with the local oscillator, and its frequency is cos of 2 pi times f0 minus f1 times t. Okay, and this is given to the matched filter. The matched filter is mapped onto s of minus t, and now instead of f0 it is mapped onto cos of 2 pi f1t, not f0 t, not f0. Okay, now look at here f1. It is f1 is a very low frequency compared to f0, and then do the sampling t is equal to lt and give it to the comparator. If it is greater than 0, then decide it is logic 1, and if it is less than 0, then decide bit 1 was transmitted. Now this is same as what we discussed previously. So now the matched filter is being matched to f1, okay, not f0. So previously the matched filter was mapped onto s of minus t, s conjugate of minus t cos of 2 pi f0 t, f0 t. Now it is mapped onto s conjugate of minus t times cos of 2 pi f1 t, where f1 is much lower than f0. Therefore your timing error problem will be somehow reduced. So you are down converting to lower frequency. That lower frequency is the intermediate frequency. So obviously it implies that you are first translating the incoming signal down to this frequency f1 by beating it with a local oscillator of the frequency f0 minus f1. See, the incoming signal is cos of 2 pi f0 t, and this is cos of 2 pi f0 minus f1 t. You multiply these two, and the output is f1. That you can simply prove by using simple trigonometric identities, like cos of 2 pi f0 t multiply by cos of 2 pi f0 minus f1 times t. So this you can say cos A times cos B. This formula is cos A, cos of A plus B formula times plus cos of A minus B. You can choose any one A and any one B. Let me say this is A, this is A, and this is B. Cos of A plus B, which is cos of, you can write down f0 plus 4 pi f0 t, minus 2 pi f1t, this is one term, plus cos of a minus b. A minus b means then f0 will go away, cos of 2 pi f1t. Anyway, this is a higher frequency 2f0 that will be removed by the filter, removed by the matched filter. So this will be allowed at the output of the filter. Therefore, the output is present at cos of 2 pi f1t. So that is why your matched filter is mapped onto frequency f1, not on f0. So everything else is same. Only thing is you are using the matched filter at the frequency f1 rather than at the frequency f0. But we have not solved the problem of timing sensitivity, of timing error problem. But what we have done is we have shifted it to now this place, okay, like to this frequency f1, where we assume that the carrier frequency is very, very less. And we can hope and we can assume that the timing offset also will be very less. So in any digital communication system, there are two kinds of synchronization one has to work on. Okay, one is timing synchronization and another one is phase synchronization. And this phase tracking circuits are easier to design as compared with the timing synchronization circuit. Okay, so there are two types of problems one has to deal with in digital communication systems. One is timing synchronization and phase synchronization. And the timing synchronization problem is somewhat reduced by this IF implementation. Okay, so till now I have discussed three methods. One is general method. So that is baseband method I can call. It can be baseband or passband, anything. And second one is passband implementation. In passband we said there are certain issues, so that can be overcome by your IF implementation. Passband implementation. And the third one is the same passband implementation but with the IF frequency. So there are three methods we have seen now. Then one more method is there that I will discuss in the next class. That is something called a correlator receiver. Correlator receiver, that I will discuss in the next lecture. So till now we have seen the baseband method to demodulate the BPSK or antipodal signals that I discussed in the previous lecture. And in this lecture I have discussed the passband implementation and also this IF frequency method. Like IF implementation, you down translate the incoming frequency f0 to the frequency f1. So you are doing the down translating, beating with the local oscillator frequency, down translating to frequency f1 by beating it with the local oscillator frequency of f0 minus f1. And of course there are some pros and cons, but the implementation of IF method is much easier than straight away doing the passband matched filter implementation or passband demodulation. And one can also ask, why don't you go for IF frequency method? Straight away you can convert passband to baseband and do the demodulation. So either way you can do that. So either you can do at passband itself, then passband to passband means you are working at f0, passband to IF, here working at f1, where f1 is less than f naught. This is second method. Or one can say, okay, I don't want to go to if method, intermediate frequency. Straight away I will bring back to baseband. So pass band to baseband itself. Any one method you can employ, whichever you like. So out of these three methods you can use any one. So with this let me stop, and in the next lecture I will start the correlator receiver. So instead of using these are all the class of coherent receivers. Okay, in the next lecture let me move on to correlator receiver. Okay, and in the coherent receivers we used a matched filter. Okay, but in the correlator receiver we will not use matched filter, but we use a correlator. So we multiply the two signals. Here matched filter is not multiplying, it is a convolution operation between the input pulse and the pulse of impulse response of the matched filter. But in correlator receiver it is simply multiplication. So the difference is, in matched filter it is a convolution operation. In correlator the operation is multiplication. That we will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you. Let me stop at this point. Thank you very much.